Hi guys, welcome back to Beautifully Bookish Bethany, where I have new videos every week about books and the geeky mom lifestyle. Hit the subscribe button for more bookish content, and don't forget to tap that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my newest videos. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my March book haul. So I have a good number of books to share with you guys today. Earlier in the month, I bought quite a few books. I have some books that were sent to me for review from publishers, etc. So let's go ahead and dive in. I have a few that I'm really excited about. First up, I had two pre-orders that came in this month. The first is a book that I had already read, but I knew I wanted a finished copy of it. This is Undercover Bromance by Lyssa Kay Adams. I really enjoyed this. I had this as an e-arc from NetGalley. It's the second book in the Bromance Book Club series, and I just think these are so much fun. It follows this group of guys who have this secret book club where they read romance novels to help them better understand and love the women in their lives. This is the second book in the series, and it plays on the trope of a romantic suspense novel, and it includes taking down a sexual predator. I really liked this a lot. I think for my personal taste, I probably preferred book one a little bit to book two, but I hear other people saying the opposite. Either way, both books are really fantastic and well worth picking up, so I'm really happy to have a finished copy to add to my shelves. The other pre-order I had come in was for the paperback edition of a book that I'm interested in reading. This is The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. I don't know a ton of details about this book. I do know that it is an African-inspired epic fantasy novel. It's a debut, and the author is a Black man. I follow him on Twitter and he just seems really cool and interesting, and I like the cover. So I don't know, I want to give this one a shot, and it was coming out in paperback, so I had that one come in as a pre-order. Then of course, I did have my Book of the Month Club pick come in. If you guys don't know, I am an affiliate of Book of the Month Club, which means I have a personalized link down below. If you guys use that link to sign up, I get a small commission from it, and there should be a code down below that will give you a discount on your first box if you're interested in signing up. I do really like them. I think it's a pretty good service. It's $15 a month, including shipping for a new release and sometimes pre-release hardcover book. They always have 5 different options in a variety of genres, and if you don't like any of the options, you can skip the month, which I really like that feature. You can also add on up to 2 books a month for $9.99, and that does include their YA picks, which I will sometimes do if they have YA picks that I'm interested in. I think they pick interesting books that you might not hear about otherwise. I know they try to pick quite a few books by Own Voices authors, which I think is great. So anyway, if you're interested in the service, there is a link down below. But yeah, I'll show you what I picked for March. So this month, the book that I picked is A Good Neighborhood by Therese Ann Fowler. This sounded really interesting. It wasn't something that had been on my radar, but reading the description, I was like, oh, okay, that sounds kind of up my alley. It takes place in a suburban neighborhood where a new family moves in. It's a mom with her biracial son, and some things happen in the neighborhood, and there are racialized tensions, and what does it mean to really be a good neighbor? It sounds really interesting. This is definitely the sort of thing I tend to find myself drawn to thematically, since I'm raising biracial children, and I always think those tensions are interesting to read about. So I haven't read it yet, but this was my pick for the month. So thank you to Book of the Month Club. If you guys are interested in joining, again, that link is down below. Then at the beginning of March, I attended a very exciting event, which I will link the vlog from that up above if you haven't seen it yet. I got to go to the US release for Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare in conversation with Marie Rutkoski, author of The Midnight Lie, and so I purchased both books, and they're fantastic. So The Midnight Lie, I actually had read in December as an ARC, and I knew I wanted a finished copy. It's so pretty. So, and I do have it signed, which is very exciting, and it's, I don't know if this shows up on camera, but it's got like kind of a cool imprint there. It was really interesting to hear her talk about the book. This is set in the same world as the Winter's Curse trilogy, which is her kind of more well-known YA fantasy series, but you can read this as a standalone. It's set in the same world, but you do not have to have read the Winter's Curse trilogy to read this. If you have read it, near the end of the book, a few things will link up with that, but this definitely stands alone. It's the first in a duology, and it includes a queer romance and a lady rake, which is something it has in common with Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, which I absolutely loved. So really love both of these books. This one I think is my favorite book by Cassie Clare that I have ever read. It is the first in a new trilogy set in Edwardian London that takes place after the events of the Infernal Devices series. And yeah, it's pretty freaking awesome. Both of these have a queer Lady Rake character, which I kind of love. It's really fun. And this was one of my favorite books that I have read this year. So yeah, anyway, that was really cool. Both of them I was able to get signed and meet the authors. Oh my gosh, look at it. It's so pretty, you guys. So pretty. And signed and personalized. So yeah, again, I will link that event vlog up above if you guys haven't seen it and are interested, but I'm very, very happy to add those to my collection. Then you might remember that in February, my book of the month club pick was Anna Kay by Jenny Lee, and I actually got to go to an event and got my book signed with her, and she was really, really lovely. I loved this book, so I have it signed and personalized, which was super fun. This was at the Strand bookstore, and I ended up going shopping while I was there and picked up a few books, as one does. So let me share with you the 3 things that I picked up on that shopping trip. I will say I'm pretty proud of myself because 2 of these are books that I had already read. I'm really working hard this year on trying to mostly purchase books that I've already read and know that I want to own. And so I did that in this case. First up is a book that I had been looking for a cheaper copy of, and they had a used half-price copy for $13. This is The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood. Another one that made my favorites of the year list. This is a debut adult fantasy that I really, really loved. It's kind of slower paced, very character driven, but I was just completely sucked into this world. It follows an orc priestess who is supposed to be a sacrificial bride to her god, but instead runs away to become the assassin of this mage, basically, and things kind of go from there. And I really, really liked this a whole lot, and I knew I wanted to own a finished copy of it. I have an ARC copy on my shelves at the moment, but I will be putting this there instead. And yeah, this was just fantastic, and I was really happy to find a copy for $13. The other one that I wanted to add to my collection is a novella from Tor.com. This is Riot Baby by Tochi Onyebuchi, and again, I had an ARC of this. I read it. I really, really loved it. It's a really powerful story. It's kind of lightly futuristic. It deals with race, it deals with the prison and justice system, and it's got magical sort of, I guess, more superpower-ish abilities to it, but it's kind of gritty and hard-hitting and a really, really strong adult debut from Tochi Onyebuchi, so I knew I wanted to own this, and they had a copy for $10 available at the Strand, so I picked up a hardcover. And the final book that I picked up while I was there was on the recommendation of my friend Isabella over at the Feminist Bookworm on Instagram. I was there with her for the Anna Kay event, and this book sounded really interesting. It's actually a middle grade graphic novel. This is called New Kid by Jerry Craft, and apparently it also was the first graphic novel to win the Newbery. It just won for this. And this, again, was one that appealed to me partly because of my kids. It follows a biracial boy starting at a new school that is predominantly white, and kind of the microaggressions that he faces and just adapting to sort of day-to-day life there. And it just sounds really fantastic. This was also half price. It was $6.50, and I flipped through it a little bit and it looked really interesting, and so yeah, adding that one to my shelves as well. And then before we get to the books that I was sent this month, I have one other purchase that I made. Generally, if I travel someplace, I like to visit a local indie bookstore and pick something up, and so at the very end of February, beginning of March, right before everything sort of exploded in the world, my family was in Princeton for the weekend, and while there I went to their local indie bookstore, Labyrinth Books, which I'd been to before. It's a really great bookstore, and I picked up a book. They had a used half-priced copy of something that's been kind of on my radar for a while, and so I decided to pick it up. This is IQ84 by Haruki Murakami, and I got this there for $10, which is exciting. It is kind of a beast of a book, but I've heard a lot of really good things about it, and it's one that I've kind of had my eye on for a while, so I thought this was a good opportunity. It says on the back, it's a love story, a mystery, oh geez, we're losing bookmarks. A love story, a mystery, a fantasy, a novel of self-discovery, a dystopia to rival George Orwell's. So yeah, this definitely sounded up my alley. I was curious about it, and I thought the price was pretty good. So that was the last book that I purchased for myself in March. All right, moving on, I have quite a few books that were sent to me for various things from publishers, but I also won a giveaway, which was kind of cool. So back in February, my friend Leanna over at Leanna's Library was running a whole bunch of giveaways over on her Instagram in celebration of Valentine's Day, where you got a Bones coffee, which I love, and a book, and I ended up winning one. The coffee is gone. I have since drunk it. It was their Highland Grog flavor, which is appropriate given the book. I'm really excited to have this. This is When a Scot Ties the Knot by Tessa Dare. I have not read this one, but it sounds like it's gonna be right up my alley. I love Tessa Dare. I think she writes such great romantic comedies, historicals, and I have not read a Highlander romance from her. This one in particular sounded hilarious. It's about a woman who pretends to be engaged and writes letters to this fake Scottish guy thinking that they're gonna go nowhere, except one day he shows up on her doorstep because it turns out that he really does exist. And I just think the premise is super entertaining. I love Tessa Dare. Thank you to Leanna for this. I will link her channel down below, and yeah, I'm gonna have to pick this up soon. It sounds like a whole lot of fun. Moving on, I have a few books to share that were sent to me this month. The first one I'm kind of excited to have. This was as a thank you from Fierce Reads for participating in their Lunar Ever After promotion, which was a week of like promotional things for the Lunar Chronicles. The paperbacks got new covers, which are really pretty, and so I was sent Cinder because I was in the Cinder week. And I just think these are so pretty. I love the new cover art. They're really beautiful. There's this step back art. This one did get a little bit mashed in the mail, but it's okay. I'm really happy to add this to my shelves. I love the series, and unpopularly, Cinder is, I think, my favorite of the heroines. I feel like that's an unpopular opinion, but I really love Cinder and Kai. They're like my favorite, although they're all wonderful. So I don't know if you can see here, but these are all of the brand new covers. So thank you so much to Fierce Reads for sending that to me. That was like a nice thank you. The other finished copy that I received this month is from Harlequin. This is Secret Air Seduction by Reese Ryan. And this just sounded kind of fun. This is one of their Harlequin series books, from the Harlequin Desire line. And it follows a guy who finds out that he is an heir to a fortune and then ends up reconnecting with an ex-girlfriend. So it's like a second chance romance. I have not read it yet, but it looks like it would probably be a short, sweet, fun story. And this one was sent to me from Harlequin for promotion on Instagram. So thank you so much to them for that. Harlequin also sent me an arc of The Sea Glass Cottage by Rayanne Thane. I really enjoy Rayanne Thane. Everything that I've read from her has been really great, and she writes some really good women's fiction. This one is more of like a women's fiction with some romance plots to it. This went on sale March 17th, so if you're interested, it is available now. And it follows 3 generations of women and an unexpected homecoming. I just find her stuff to be really enjoyable and cozy, and I think this will be no different, so I'm hoping to get to this one pretty soon. I had one arc that was sent to me by Fierce Reads and Macmillan. This is Deadly Curious by Cindy Anstey. This is a Swoon Reads title going on sale in June of 2020, if it hasn't been pushed back. I know a lot of stuff has been. This sounded really interesting. It says it's a twisty tale reminiscent of Jane Austen with a dash of murder. I mean, who doesn't love Jane Austen plus murder? It sounds like a lot of fun. Some secrets are better left buried, and I love the cover. It's set in the 1830s, and it follows a young woman who wants to be the first female detective to join this elite corps of detectives. I'm always for stories like this. It looks like it's gonna be a good time. All right, I have 2 more books to share with you. The first is an arc of a translated book that is coming out from World Editions, and this is set to go on sale in May of 2020. It is Disoriented by Amin Maalouf. So this sounded really interesting to me. It's written by this author who lives, I think, in France, but is originally from Beirut, and it follows a man who's been living in Paris when he gets a phone call one night finding out that his best friend from childhood is dying, and so he travels back to his home country, and it's kind of about him adjusting to life there and various things going on and his past catching up with him. I guess he had been exiled to France. It sounds really interesting. I like this sort of thing that deals with identity and a sense of place, and yeah, so sounds interesting. Going on sale in May. Thank you to World Editions for sending me a copy. I'm hoping to pick this one up in the next month or so. And the final book that I have to share with you guys, I am super jazzed for, because this is definitely on my list of most anticipated books for the year. This was sent to me by my friends over at Quirk Books, and it is Bookish and the Beast by Ashley Poston, the third book in the Geekerella series. Guys, I'm so excited for this. These are really fun, geeky fairy tale retellings set in this world of fandom and conventions. I have loved both of the other two books in the series. Both of them were 5 stars, and I just really enjoy them. They're really great feel-good books. This is set to go on sale on June 16th, and obviously it is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. I just can't wait. I don't even know any other details about it. I don't need to know any other details about it. It's gonna be amazing. And this was sent to me in a really cute little box with this adorable and quite tasty cookie. So I will put a picture from my Instagram up here so you can see the entire series with the books that I already owned, this and the cookie. So thank you so much to Quirk Books. I am thrilled to add this to my TBR. There you have it. Those are all of the books that I hauled in March. I'm really excited about them. I feel pretty good about the fact that most of the books that I purchased for myself are books that I've already read and know I want to own on my bookshelf. And I've gotten much more selective about what I'm purchasing. And I think that's probably for the best, because definitely starting out in this experience, I just bought so many things. And so I'm trying to be a little bit more careful about that. And I feel pretty good about how this month went. And a lot of really exciting stuff that was sent to me. Talk to me in the comments down below. Let me know any of your thoughts or feelings on any of the books that I talked about today. And for your question of the day, do you like to read a book before you buy it? Do you like to get it from your library or something like that and know that it's something you want to add to your shelves? Or do you prefer to purchase a book just based on the synopsis because it looks good or because someone else recommends it to you? Let me know how you do that in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.